You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, it is, of course, NASCAR season once again. And once again, we're going to talk about Bubba Wallace, but he's come out and he has talked about how hard it is to be a black driver in NASCAR. Now, I did a video the other day where we're 7 races into the season, and he's already talking about breaking down mentally. Dude, you got a long, long way to go. Now, I've contended for a long time as he's talked about these mental struggles. That the concerning part about that is we've seen Bubba Wallace snap on the race car track many times. He had another crash last week. He recovered, but, I mean, F anybody else involved, I guess. And now he's coming out making these comments. Now, what is so nuts about him claiming how hard he's got? Look, I saw a advertisement for Fox Sports, of course, Talladega this weekend, Cup Series tomorrow, Geico 500. And, of course, with the logo that comes up for the race, it showcased about 5 drivers. Bubba Wallace is on there. Bubba Wallace is ramrodded into every single NASCAR piece of propaganda they put out. The mainstream media, the woke sports media, forget it. They're not criticizing the guy. Ever. Despite having one of the longest winless streaks in all of NASCAR. And there's a section of woke X or any social media that slurps this guy every week like he's some kind of legendary driver. I mean, Bubba Wallace is in a protective bubble, for crying out loud. And these are the comments he's made. By the way, we'll go over the fact that he's taking a shot at NASCAR. I mean, NASCAR even decides to be halfway objective, and Bubba Wallace takes a shot at him. Okay. Dude, they're propping you up despite the fact you can't win a race. It's crazy. They're keeping you valid. They're keeping you in the conversation, and we know why. I mean, let's be honest. Bubba Wallace is profiting largely off not his racing skills, but the fact that he's a DEI driver for NASCAR. He is profiting off of that. All right, which should offend a lot of black people. I know that John Matrix certainly is not a big fan. My partner in crime on Black and White Sports. He doesn't appreciate it as somebody that tries to work his ass off for everything he gets. So let's take a look at these comments from Bubba. Bubba Wallace knows he has more eyes on him because he is the only black driver in NASCAR's Cup Series. While appearing on the Stacking Pennies podcast with Corey LaJoie, I'm going to assume that's LaJoie, could be LaJoy, Wallace talked about feeling pressure of being the only black driver each week. Quote, "There's more eyes on me for sure." Really? Have you seen some of the hate that Denny Hamlin gets? Or some of the hate in the past that Tony Stewart got? Some of those flames? Wow. This guy is ate up with ego. Ate up with it. Quote, "There's more eyes on me for sure," Wallace said. "At times, I'd say the biggest thing I've done in this year ever since 2020, I was always like, okay, I've got to prove to everybody that, you know what, I belong here instead of just being Bubba and thinking that the world is against me and everybody's out to get me. There may be some, but I don't need to invest my time into that anymore. You know, trying to prove everybody right. The people that matter, they know what's wrong, what's right, and what's wrong, and I think that's helped me a lot, just from the mental side of it." Here we go. "And then showing up to the racetrack and being more comfortable. I definitely lost touch with who I was for the last couple of years and chasing the wrong thing. You know, now you've kind of gotten back to being on the right track and things are starting to click." My God. I mean, Michael Jordan is the race owner here. Denny Hamlin's involved. He could not get more support as a driver. It's crazy. And then Bubba Wallace comes out with this. You see, he's taunting NASCAR. And what happened here is NASCAR put out, after Chase Elliott snapped his winless streak, NASCAR posted a statistic of drivers that have ongoing winless streaks, highlighting 4 of them. Bubba Wallace was among them. My God, NASCAR decided to actually be objective when it comes to Bubba Wallace instead of coddling and cradling him. This was what he put out right here. This is what NASCAR put out. 1 winless streak was broken last weekend. Which one ends next? And there's Bubba Wallace right there. Well, I guess he didn't like the fact that NASCAR pointed this out. We all know that NASCrap is going to give the Bubbles the win because it's going to rain. Only way he can win. Won't be watching and a little huff, a little mad. And in case you're wondering exactly how long it's been since Bubba's won a race, how about 52 races? All right? You can see right there, he's in the top 4. Brad Keselowski, he's done really well at Talladega, so keep an eye on him. 107, Joey Logano 40, Alex Bowman 70, Bubba Wallace 52. But Bubba Wallace is taking shots at NASCAR? That commissioner flipped the entire organization upside down for Bubba Wallace in 2020. He allowed you to go out there and race with a Marxist propaganda car that's got Black Lives Matter all over it. Do you know how many fans turned the entire sport off because of that? Look, NASCAR's ratings went down badly. Now, in case you're wondering, Bubba's going to be in the row 7. William Byron, he's been a badass. Let me tell you, that dude has been a badass. But the point is, I don't know that this guy ever takes any criticism. The only guy in the media I can think of for sure that's blatantly criticized Bubba Wallace is Kyle Petty. Otherwise, Bubba Wallace is walking around in bubble wrap. No pun intended. A protective bubble every single week from criticism. Why do we think that is when the entire sports landscape, the entire sports media is woke as hell? Why do we believe that? The same reason possibly that Deshaun Watson got almost no mainstream media coverage whatsoever, despite how many civil lawsuits for sexual misconduct? The same reason that happened? Just wondering. I mean, you can take a couple of guesses, but you probably only need one. And nobody ever hated Bubba Wallace because of his skin color. They can't stand him because he went out there and made a garage pull rope into a hanging rope. A garage pull rope is seen all around the country. A guy posted on social media the other day. He rented out a storage unit. When he went to raise it up, there was a garage pull rope hanging from it. And he said, I guess Bubba Wallace is not going to be happy about this because it's a garage pull rope. It was blatant BS. The FBI investigated it. There was nothing hateful about it at all. Didn't stop Bubba Wallace from going on a media tour. That is why people don't like him. He's Bubba Smollett for a reason. And look, this doesn't help Bubba's case because once again, Bubba is making it all about Bubba and his race. People are so sick of it. Nobody hates that dude because he's black. It's because he tried to pull off a fake race hustle. And he got busted. And it certainly didn't help this country one bit. That's why people don't like Bubba Wallace. That, and he's got an arrogant attitude. And he's bullied other drivers. He went after Kyle Larson. Despite being a lot bigger than him, he's caused wrecks on NASCAR tracks where people have died. Dale Earnhardt, does that ring a bell? It's deadly driving a NASCAR. And he has trouble keeping composure, it seems. It's just my opinion, but I know what I've seen regardless. Wow. Here we are, 4 years removed from garage pull rope, and Bubba Wallace is still out here talking about how unfair it is that he's a black NASCAR driver. You get free media coverage every week despite not winning races. Okay. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. And very few members of the media will call it out. Kyle Petty. I mean, NASCAR gave him a nothing kind of suspension around some of his antics. Why do you think that is? NASCAR doesn't want to get in trouble with the media. Tell me what you think, guys. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.